I've been telling you, I've been going to do some content here on a little bit of redneck ingenuity and homemade RC stuff. Um, growing up here in West Virginia, we ain't got a lot around here. When you ain't got a lot around here, it means you ain't got a lot of money to spend, so you figure out how to do stuff on your own. Well, I wanted me something to play with in the water, around here in the lakes and the hollers and stuff, ponds, rivers. And I had one of them little Cub uh, powered gliders. Uh, can't remember what brand it was or nothing. But I started looking at it, I was like, well, I can make an airboat out of this. I'd seen where a couple guys made, homemade airboats and stuff here on the U, the tubes, and it really interested me. So I said, well, heck, so I'm gonna make one. How am I gonna fly it or make it go? Not fly it. It's a boat. Duh. What the hell? And I remembered I had that powered glider, and I was like, well, it'll push a daggone piece of styrofoam through the air. If I design the hull right, it should push a boat through the water. Now, that being said, there are some pros and cons to using said motors and such, which one of the cons is no rewind. So that means if you're out somewhere and you get over across from where you're at and there's no way to walk around and you get hung up, ain't no rewind to get out of the situation. That's one caveat to that. But if you're using like a light foam, which I use a home construction product called fan foam or fiber board or styrofoam insulation board, and I use that for my hull. And then I took the ESC, the charger chip, and everything out of that powered glider, battery and all, and motors, and mounted them to the styrofoam board. And I made me a daggone airboat, and I tell you what, I didn't do too bad with it. Didn't do too bad with it. Now, this is just a proof of concept. Oh, Edith, now you stay over and you behave. Gotta watch them guns, man. They'll get you. They just get up and start shooting on their own. But well, I'll go ahead and show you what I've done here. Now, like I said, this is just proof of concept. It's just thrown together. This ain't nothing purdy, which I don't make nothing purdy. Why would I make something purdy? I ain't purdy. Only thing I made purdy was my youngins. And they tend to make purdy ones too, come to find out. But now, like I said, this ain't done. So bear with me. So I took me a piece that there pink. I think it's I believe it's 1 inch, because right here you can tell there's a seam where I glued a piece to it. And the reason that I've left this unfinished is so that I can show you all what I've done and how I've done it. Because for some reason I was making content for YouTube, but didn't film it. Wonder why. Probably because of them. But I shaped my hull all nice and pretty and water dynamic, you know what I mean? And it took me a couple pieces of foam here, and I added them because I needed a little bit of height off the water, to make it more airboat-esque, I would say. And I cut out this hole right here, and thank you to Enjoy for your MB100 ESC that I purchased with the 50 turn, 50 size motor for the lovely plastic case. I cut it out right here on top so that I could throw my power switch in there. And like I said, it's all cobbed up. Yep, hot glue everywhere. Hot glue's redneck's friend, like duct tape and WD-40. Yeah, think about that. Say you can always live with either WD-40 and duct tape. Well, sometimes you gotta have some hot glue. You figure out what that hot glue's for. Yep, you'll know. You'll be in the know. But what I did is so I could make me a daggone halfway waterproof case for my electronics. And now these motors, I very carefully took apart the glider. Let's just go back here for a minute. I very carefully took apart the powered glider so that in case I ever wanted to, I could throw the motors and electronics back in it and fly this SOB again. You know what I mean? And it actually came apart pretty well. I was proud of myself because growing up in the construction industry, you know, demo was my favorite, and I got real good at demo. But demo without tearing up stuff, it's called dismantling, I've been told. Well, I never did try to dismantle stuff, you know, or take it apart carefully because it was always funner to do it the other way, you know. So I'm learning to dismantle things as cleanly and being able to use the parts over again as I can. So these right here, you're probably wondering what these are. These right here are from a slot car track that I had whenever I was just a wee little redneck running around, stealing daddy snuff, stealing drinks of beer, you know, things a 2-year-old will do. But these right here are post stands for road signs for a slot car track. I'm repurposing SOB if you already figured it out yet. And what I done, I just hot glued them, the motors, to these. Because what these do, they stack on top of each other, so it'll give you the height that you need to go over the roadway for the slot car track. And the reason that they're segmented is because on that said slot car track, there's angles and stuff and banks on the track. So if you're setting the track up on flat surfaces, you need something to help hold that up, or to help hold the sign up, and they have to be different levels. Is what I'm trying to get at. And I was just sitting around medicating up a little bit one day and just saw that I was like, I wonder what I can find to mount these to where it'd be, you know, decent, high enough, you know, right height range, and just the right size, you know. And I was like, thought about that. And I thought about them. I was like, hey, ding, 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 you know, big old candle came on upstairs there, you know, because sometimes I ain't bright enough for a light bulb. But, so I got this, and I did a proof of concept, trying to make, you know, if you saw the short that I did yesterday, you saw it sitting out there in the coal mine pond over there, just floating around and doing its thing. Well, when I attached this back piece here, all this is a bandana for one of America's best beers, you know. I just attached it through herb glue and left it long because I'm still not done, like I said. So I was cutting these off. Just cutting it off, just as pretty as you please. Watch this side, snip. And cut one of my wires. So I got a restart of that. But other than that, I put this thing in the water. Oh, hold on there, excuse me. Ooh, boy, I love this Chemical Valley air, let me tell you. So I put it out, I took it over and put it in the bathtub, what it did, because I ain't got a creek right here by the house that's easily accessible, and I ain't got a tub big enough for this thing to be able to move around in, except for a bathtub. So I took it in there and put it in the bathtub. Gave much water in it, you know, about that long. And so I put her in there and I started her up. Went forward, man, it went good, you know. Well, I went to turn it, and I noticed it was a little bit light in the front, you know. But I said, well, hell, airboat's supposed to be light in the front, that way it skids across the top of the water. Well, it was a little bit more heavy in the rear than what I thought. I went to make that turn, this son of a gun right here just stood up and did its best ballerina impression you ever seen. I said, ooh. And that's all it did. Ooh. It was cool. I'm telling you, it was cool. But that ain't what I need. I needed to go vroom and vroom and vroom, you know. I don't want to make it just sit there and do pretty little ballerina twirls. I sit there thinking, well, how am I going to weight this thing down? Bang! light bulb went off this time. I said, well, you got that rotary tool over there, and this foam's easy to carve. So won't you just carve you a few lines there, or space, somewhere to put something. Being a redneck, you always got fishing weights laying around, or muzzleloader balls, or shotgun shells. You can take apart and dump out the shot and use that lead shot, steel shot, whatever. And I had some BBs laying there that I'd been putting in my axe front, or in my axe wheels. That's how I got some weight added lower on my AX24. So I seen them sitting there. I was like, ha. So we'll undo this here just a little bit so you can see what I did. Maybe. Alright, so, well, see, I'm going to have to re-glue that, but what I did is, you see these lines right here. I just took that Dremel, and I said, put 6 lines there and did me a little outline around it. Well, what I done was took me some of that craft glue, and I put it down in them grooves that I made, and I started stacking BBs in there. After I got the BBs stacked in there, I took some more of that craft glue. I said, well, it's not going to look real good, just being BB stuck, because I didn't make them all the way down flush, because I wanted a little bit of texture, what I wanted for the front of the boat, too. And I said, what am I going to cover it up with? I just sit here thinking. Light bulb came on again, but it was, one of those like 40 watts, I seen that Budweiser antenna laying around there, all beat up, heck, I keep everything, so old beat up, stained up Budweiser and bandana laying around, and I said, well, that'd look pretty good, especially if this thing gonna be sitting in a daggone coal mine pond. It's not gonna be clean, because believe me, if y'all ever been around a coal mine, within 10 miles around that coal mine, it's going to be dirty. Everything's going to be dirty. Your house, your car, especially your car, your clothes, you little down there places, everything gets all dirty. I don't know how all the dirty gets down there whenever you ain't doing nothing to get down there with, but it is what it is. I never went up the road there. So, I think it's coming along fine. But I had to figure out a way to get this thing up to the coal mine pond. You know what I mean? I can't just ping and just like pick it up and just lay it there. Hell, it's a boat, And as going around to getting new in this hobby and being inspired by a bunch of you guys out there that do this stuff, man. And old Waffles over at Waffles RC, man, he inspired me to do a lot of stuff I did that I made my own, fabricated my own on that AX24. And it inspired me. I was like, well, heck, I got parts off that old Walmart junk car that I bought just to play around with to see if I could FPV something before I even got my axe or the Turtleator or any of it, So I was like, I had some Luan laying around and some, just parts off of other stuff, just stuff. So I started making me a trailer. Now, don't mind all the hot glue everywhere. That's just there to hold it in place until I get everything attached right. As you can see, I use brad nails, or well, trim nails. And it is nailed, and it will be screwed and glued and tattooed. But got the tongue started, Got the bed. Now, mind you, as my mentor, I should say, that got me inspired to start building my own stuff does, what the heck's used for a tape measure? That's for engineers. We don't need no daggone tape measure. fitting pretty good. Now, like I said, y'all are seeing this in very rough, still building condition. But we're going to have an axle right there. That's going to be two-wheel, and yeah, it's got a lot of tongue weight, which that's what you want. Especially whenever what you're putting on it's going to put all of the weight back here. Because, like I said, still heavy in ass. I mean, you see that the balance point isn't right at 50%. And I'm not any good at balancing stuff. Yeah, we can tell that. That's what that officer told me whenever he gave me that DUI sobriety check. He said, "You ain't very good at balancing stuff." I said, "Nope, I sure ain't. Especially with the buzz." He thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Spend the night in jail. And there we go. But that's what we got going on. I just wanted to give you all a little bit of an update to show you that I've been talking that I've been going to make a lot of content. I just ain't been able to get it out there. Well, I had phone troubles. If y'all was on the live there a couple times, you've heard me blah 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 about all my troubles and wah stuff. But I decided that I wanted one of them good, cool phones, man. Yeah, woo. I got one, and it was a Galaxy Z Flip 4. Do not, if you do anything except sit at home or sit in an office anywhere and you don't carry a thing in your pocket, get it unless you do that, because I bought it, had it for 58 or 59 days, and didn't have a thing in my pockets except for pocket change. I pulled my phone out, opened it up. There's a big old dot right in the middle of my screen. What the heck? So I got with my mother because I'm on my mother's cell phone plan, because me and the credit agencies don't agree at stuff. They want money and I ain't got none at the moment. So I'm on mom's cell phone plan. I said, Mom, this thing ain't done yet. I said, we need to maybe get that insurance put on this thing. Okay. Well, life happened. Mom was busy. She was thinking about doing her stuff. She ain't worried about me. I'm 47 years old. Well, it got put off for a day or two, and we got a hold of them over at the Samsung place, and come find out, I was 2 days late putting the insurance on the phone through the grace period that they have set up through Samsung. So, speaking with the reps, figured out what we could do. Sent it to them. They sent it back, brand new screen, pretty as you please. And a 3-digit decimal point, dot, bill. That was fairly more than what I had in my pocket, but I had to end up like $300 and some to replace the screen on a Z Flip 4. It was like $360 something plus tax. All right, well, cool. I got my phone. It's doing good. Well, about a month ago, pulled it out of my pocket, opened up, and there's another one of them damned old dots. Well, I knew it was going to quit working on me, sooner than later. Well, left side of the screen quit working. Of course, where the dot was quit working. Then the top part of the screen quit working. Touch part of it. You can still see it. So, then, I get up one day, open up my phone, and was turned off. Well, I knew the battery wasn't dead because I just unplugged it from the charger, and the charger was on. So I fired her back up, Sitting there texting my buddy, and he always texts back, pretty quick. You know, usually about like me, he's got his phone on him all the time, and you know, a lot of times ain't doing much to be real busy, so he usually hollered back. And I sit there and I was like, man, he ain't hollered me back. It's been like a half hour. That's just not normal. So I opened up my phone. No phone. What the hell? Fired up again. It loads up. Bang, get a text message. Hey, man, what you doing? Bang, get another text. Bang, got another text message. Well, it's been a half hour, so, my buddy, he's used to me answering just like he does. Pretty quick, like. He's like, man, what the hell? Where you at? What's going on? What do you do? Fall asleep? Get arrested? Fall in love? I was like, no, man, I don't know what the hell happened. I said, phone turned off for some reason. I hear you. So low, so blah, 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 yada, yada. And I said, all right, man. I said, I'll give you a shout right back here in a minute when I get ready to head that way. Shut the phone off. Went, took Diesel Dummy Dog out. Come back, got all my stuff together, and got it ready to go put it on Scuba Steve. If y'all don't know what Scuba Steve is, it's not the Scuba Steve you're talking about, probably. My Scuba Steve is a Yamaha 400 Big Bear, about a 2000 model, something like that. He got his name because we had a big old flash flood here in West Virginia last spring, 2 springs ago. Well, us old rednecks, high water, yep, let's go. So I'll have to find a video and I'll put it on here one day. There was a ditch went across the road, well, beside the road, of course, but in a rainstorm, water was coming over it. Well, I pulled out through there and go across the main road, and there are people waiting in traffic on me to cross that bit of water. Well, unbeknownst to me, one of my friends, baby mama, was about 2 people back in that line of traffic waiting to turn. She started videoing. Right about the time she started videoing, Scuba Steve went in that water. Well, if you watch on that video, you'd see why he's called Scuba Steve, because the water was all the way up to the top of my front fenders. If y'all know anything about 400 Big Bears, intakes for the air intake, for the motor, pretty daggone low, and that's a lot lower than the altitude of that front fender. I'm talking probably a good 1.5 foot lower. Scuba Steve never spit, sputtered, nothing, just right on out through there. Well, she posted it on Facebook, and everybody was tagging me in it because they knew it was Scuba Steve. They knew it was me. Even though I did have a helmet on and such and things and all, because it was cold. It was wintertime having a flash flood, And, yeah, so I got tagged in that video, and I was like, what in the hell? And come find out, it was my buddy's baby mama, and it was pretty cool. But, got everything ready, went to go text the old buddy back, and, phone was off again. So I powered it back up, and I shut it, after it came on. I opened it back up, it's powered off. There ain't no way that I could deal with having something to do that every time. So got on the online there on the interwebs and checked out that phone kiosk at Walmart to see what kind of money I could get out of it. I mean, hell, $800 phone 2 years ago. Well, I got a little bit of money out of it, because I had to buy something else, find another phone. Well, the buddy that I was calling, I ended up getting back a hold of him before I took that phone in. He said, I got a phone over here you can have for $20. Go on and get it. So, all right, I'm going to Walmart, turn this thing in, go get me one of their straight talk SIM card kits, so I can use the phone. He said, oh, okay. I said, all right, let me jump off here. I'm going to log in Facebook real quick. I'll be right. I'll holler at you. So I went to log in on my Facebook on the pooter here. And all of a sudden, big, white, red, Microsoft, you have a virus. Virus has been detected. Your computer is corrupted. Call this number. Looked legit. Looked legit as AF. I mean, looked legit as AF. All right. And so I called the number. I got one there old, not from around here, fellers. Don't speak it real good talk English stuff. You know what I mean? One of them fellers from over in Indiana land or Pakistani or whatever. And I started talking to him there, and he told me to hit escape for 5 seconds and then tell me what it does. Okay, I did. And he said, well, okay, sir. He said, what I need you to do is go to the App Store and download this app. And I really couldn't understand much what he was saying after that because uh, I don't speak his language very well, and his accent was very, very heavy, and he may not have had a very good English teacher from where he was. You know, it really wasn't his fault. But he said, do you understand? I said, basically what you're telling me is I need to go to the App Store, download this app so that you can remotely control my computer, right? He said, yeah. Well, let me back up just a second because in between all that, he said, yeah. He said, well, you know, your mobile banking, stuff like that, and, you know, your Bitcoin and, you know, your Cash App, all this stuff's hooked to that computer. We need to get it fixed. I was like, oh, no, you ain't got to worry about that, brother. I said, I'm an old hillbilly. I'm an analog feller in the digital world. I said, I don't do no banking over the interwebs. I said, I barely even trust a bank. He said, oh, okay. And then, you know, go back to where he was asking me for permission to get into my computer. And I said, well, I just don't really feel comfortable with letting somebody that I don't know in on my computer, even though it doesn't have anything on it, you know. Oh, well, bleep you then, and hung up. First thing, because I was already picking up what was going down, you know. Maybe a little bit of sometimes, but I still pick it up. Soon as he started cussing me and I heard that dial tone, I hit the Wi-Fi off on that son of a gun and the power on this thing. Well, as far as I know, he didn't get on the didn't get into the computer, but he did get my Facebook and hack me. Well, Facebook's hooked to said phone. Go to set the phone up, get the cards. And me and the straight talk customer service reps don't get along too well. Because there's no way whatsoever to get a supervisor or for them to transfer the call to someone who speaks better English. Now, y'all, I don't talk real good. Yes, I can speak very well and have pretty good grammar whenever I need to, but I don't have to. I don't need to all the time. I'm not a big business person. Now, whenever I sold cars for 15 years, very prim and proper. But I can speak well if needed. And that's all I was wanting, was to be able to speak to somebody I can understand because I couldn't figure out what they were saying. Well, I finally got tired of it and hung up. After doing so, I looked at the phone that I got off my buddy and realized that it was a AT&T device. It had been unlocked, but it was still AT&T device, and the SIM card kit that I got was Verizon. Like, oh man, this ain't gonna work anyway. Well, I had bought a one of the old school LG flip phones. You know, I mean, you click, click, click to be able to get to A. You know, click, 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 click to be able to get to M. Whatever. You know, old school, not smartphone. Now, it still had internet stuff, but very, very, very hard to navigate the interwebs, having to click 3 times to get to each, you know. Any of y'all old heads out there remember back whenever we used to have to do that, you know, send a text message. Most of y'all youngins probably don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. But the one good thing about that old dumb phone it has hotspot. I was like, well, I said I can take that phone and use the smartphone that I got off my buddy for $20 off the hotspot. So I called him back, and you know, it was a straight talk Verizon phone. The old click flip one was. So I said, heck, that'll be easy. Well, I got on there and got a hold of another customer service rep from Straight Talk and tried to hook it up to that phone. Well, come find out, the other customer service rep had already registered that SIM card to the other phone. I didn't realize that. He said, this thing's registered to another phone. You need to go get another card. Well, I was already flaming hot, you know. And come find out, it was my bad because of trying to hook the other phone up to it. And that's what it was. And if I wouldn't have been so agitated, I would have probably figured it out in a minute. But I just told him where him and his mommy could go, and I hung up. So there's the roundabout story to that. Well, I still haven't got it hooked up yet because I've got to call and deal with Straight Talk again. Not really looking forward to it because I know I'm going to get aggravated. And that whole thingy-bobber will get eaten today. And I don't feel like that would be a good thing because it means I won't have nothing more. We know how it is, don't we, James? Poor fella, I understand, man. So I ain't been able to get a hold of nobody, do nothing except for communicate on here. Because, yeah, you're going to say, well, why didn't you just have it sent to your Gmail, this, that, and the other, you know? Well, being an analog feller in the digital world, I had, my Gmail's full. My Google account is full, actually. I had 16 point some megabytes used of 15 point some megabyte space. So I got on the Gmail there and started deleting emails, and I had 50,000 emails. You know, I ain't deleted no emails ever since I started my Gmail account, probably. I don't ever use email, you know. And so I started deleting them, and, you know, Google, I love you and all, but only being able to delete 100 emails at a time whenever you've got to do 50,000, I said it's very, very, very long task to do, and not fun. Well, I went through her, delete, 100 emails at a time. Well, I knocked like 25,000 of them or 30,000 of them down, you know. Well, I happened to look, and I hit on my spam or my trash or one of my other inboxes or something. Poop! There popped up another 30,000 emails. I'm like, oh my gosh, this. So, couldn't do it that way. And like I said, you know, phone's hooked to my Facebook accounts. So it was send a text or send an email. Can't. Well, finally, my buddy, he pretty ingenuitive person. He probably should work for Child Advocate because he'd be able to find you to get the money that you owed your kid's mama. You know what I mean? And he figured out a way to where I could get on there, and we're getting it fixed. Let's just put it that way. So hopefully I'll have communicational skills or communicational ability. I have communicational skills. I just don't use them very well sometimes. And hopefully get all that took care of here soon, and it'll make it to where I can at least start uploading some stuff more frequently. I think is the subject that I started all this family circus way around the stuff talking about. But this is just basically a page update to tell y'all what I'm doing, let you see a little bit about what's going on in my redneck world of RC little trucks and all that stuff. Please share and like, comment, subscribe, do all that clicky bleepy bleepy stuff and the bloop bleep blop. Got that off old Vice Grip Garage, man. Oh, Derek, man, he's a good dude. I like the way he thinks, the way he talks, you know. And I did wonder, Derek, if you happen to ever catch this, I do wonder what Miranda Lambert's doing right now. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Y'all keep them straight out there, you hear?